Hi my loves, welcome back or welcome to a new video. So if you guys cannot guess by the title in today's video, we will be attempting to get into the autumn mood by reading no other than cozy autumnal books, or books that I think are perfect for autumn. This is kind of the first episode of like my autumn TBR takedown, and I'm so freaking excited. If you know me, I have been waiting to get cozy and just read some cozy books, and now we have finally completed my summer TBR. It is now time to tackle my autumn TBR. I will be having a full video out where I talk about all the books on my summer TBR, but if you want any book recs, I do have a autumn book rec video, so go watch that one. Also, if you guys want to see how I decorated my room and how I prepared for autumn, I highly recommend watching my vlog, which will also be down below. But in today's video, as I said, we'll be reading 3 to 4 books throughout the next week to, you know, hopefully get myself into the autumny mood. Just doing my bedroom, that was like the first step to getting into the autumny cozy mood, but we're going to be reading some books. And first up, we're going to be reading What a Match by Mimi Grace. Just look at this cover. Does this cover not give you autumny vibes already? All I know about this book is that it's it's brother's best friend, and basically the guy gets forced to like live with her. I don't know the circumstances, but it is basically grumpy brother's best friend trope, and it's giving all of the autumny vibes. So this is going to be the first book that I'm going to be reading in today's video. I decided to pick it because I feel like, a bit like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe that I read last year, this one's really just going to romanticize autumn, and I want to get cozy, and I thought I would start with quite an easy book because the other book that I read by her was really easy, really cozy. And yeah, that's gonna be our first book. We're gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna stop yapping and we're gonna get to reading, and you know, hopefully you guys will read with me and enjoy this video and find it cozy. So let's sit back, let's relax, put a candle on if you want, and let's get to read it. I'm so excited. I am here to give you guys a update on What a Match. So I'm nearly actually halfway through this book. Obviously it's not a very long book, it's just over 200 pages long. I'm on chapter 9, page 106. So obviously this features Gwen and Anthony. So Gwen has not had an easy time getting into relationships. She had this ex and she is ready to start dating, and she's had a lot of trouble when it comes to dating, so she decides to get a matchmaker to help her, you know, meet someone. And it's basically her going through the motions of going on different dates, seeing who she likes and trying to find love. And then insert Anthony, who is her brother's best friend. Anthony has had some issues with his apartment, which meant that he needed somewhere to live, and Gwen basically said that he can come and stay with her after her brother asked. And he has always had a crush on Gwen, but when he's around Gwen, she just feels like he's very grumpy, he doesn't want to talk to her, he doesn't like her. But actually there are some secret feelings, and these feelings are becoming harder and harder for Anthony to hide the more and more he spends time with her, and obviously living in her apartment and seeing her all the time. And as much as he tries to avoid her, they just keep coming and being near each other and in each other's presence. And we've just had a scene right now where they've gone to like a theatre. She was supposed to go on a date, but the date cancelled, so she ended up going with him, and it was quite cute. Like, it was like a paranormal theatre experience, and obviously they're both scared shitless of like obviously being down there after obviously doing like a ghost kind of investigation tour. and they end up having a little kiss, and I think feelings are starting to show, especially on Gwen's side as well. And obviously the more Anthony's opening up to her, the more she is feeling emotions and feelings towards him. So that is the premise of it. That's what's happening at the moment. I will say this book isn't like full in terms of, I'm not feeling the autumn aesthetic. There's not much description of like autumn. Obviously maybe like one of the scenes from the book is going to be this here. I'm not sure. I'm hoping so. I don't think at the moment we've had autumn vibes. I think it's set in autumn, but we're not explicitly getting like, oh, like brown leaves and stuff like that, compared to like the pumpkin spice where like everything was autumn themed. I don't feel it as much in this one, but it is so cozy reading this, and I actually have wanted to actively want to pick it up and read it, which is why I've obviously read like 100 pages already, just starting this book yesterday. And it's definitely cozy. It's definitely getting me into like the autumn mood, but I've had such a cozy evening just reading this, having my tea in my pumpkin mug, and I definitely feel the autumn vibes going, especially after like filming a vlog of like decorating my room. Now my room just feels so cozy, and like being in my PJs and everything is just amazing. So that is my update for now. I'm gonna head to bed, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. I am back to give you guys a final review of What a Match. I just finished it literally like a few hours ago, and I thought I would come and give you guys, you know, my thoughts and feelings on this book. And as I was saying before, like about it not being autonomous, like I definitely disagree now. More and more things were happening that was like very fall, like the fall harvest festival, which was really cute, the pumpkin carving, they were making like little clay, like little miniature things, and it just gave me so many ideas for like autumn, but also it definitely put me in that mood. And I would say, as well as like obviously my scenery and like putting my like decor out and stuff like that, that has definitely helped me get into the autumn mood. And obviously this book is just so freaking cute. I think the two main characters in this book, Gwen and Tony, I think they're just so cute, and I think this book had the perfect amount of like spice and like actual connection between the characters. There was so many moments of them just spending time together, obviously at the museum, and them at pumpkin carving, obviously them at the festival, and them just like having time to just sit and chill and stuff like that. And I think the forced proximity trope definitely is prevalent in this book, and I just think this book is just really cozy, a bit like pumpkin spice. It gets you into the autumn mood or the autumnal mood. Rating, I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's not more than a 3.5 just because I think there wasn't enough depth in the characters. Like I would have wanted to know more, and I wasn't fully invested in their relationship, but I think it was really cute and just really cozy. So I think this is a perfect book to like get me started into autumn, into fall, and I'm really glad I have read it. Now we're going to go on to my next book, and I have been craving to read a mystery thriller since reading Never Lie, and this book has been on my TBR since last year, and we are finally getting to it. This is pretty much like the only book on my autumn TBR that I didn't get through, so this is going to be the next book we're going to be starting in this video, because I need something a bit spooky now. We've had our cutesy little romance, but I need my autumn mystery thriller. So this one is Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. I think Alice Feeney is a British author. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But I've heard great things about this book. All I know is it's 3 suspects, 2 murders, 1 victim. It's like 20 years later after a child has been kidnapped from a buggy or something like that. Yeah, it's stolen from a buggy. A woman is murdered, and basically 4 women, it's up to them to try and solve who has obviously killed this woman. There's 2 murders, there's a victim, a stolen baby from 20 years prior, and these 4 women are trying to find out obviously who the killers are and what might bind them together. Like it says at the back here, the truth about the baby who disappeared, the mum who lost her, and the connections that bind them. Top of all the mystery thrillers I've read, even though we have these 4 characters, I'm going to be watching them very closely and like reading between the lines, because with every mystery thriller I think I've read, like there's not just like one twist, there's like multiple. So I just think that I'm just going to be very careful with like bits and pieces of like what's going to happen, who may be involved, who may be the one that's doing this stuff. And I just think I like this book, the fact that it's such a female heavy like cast of characters. Obviously it's not all women getting murdered, women getting killed, and I think it's just going to be like a fun little mystery thriller. So this is going to be my next read of the week. I'm super excited to get ready and start reading it. I'm gonna get to it, and I will speak to you guys very soon. Guys, an update on Good Bad Girl, and today is actually Saturday, and I haven't spoken to you guys since I finished What a Match, and I think I finished that Wednesday. And yeah, I haven't really read any more of this book. I started it in the evening, and then I just like read like 10 pages, and then that was it. I went to sleep. And then this week I just haven't had the urge to pick up a book. Not that I don't want to read, I've just been doom scrolling. That's the reality. I've been going on my phone and doom scrolling, and today I said to myself I need to finally get a den on this book, because I did enjoy the first like 10-20 pages that I read, and obviously I've been reading it today, and I'm happy to say that I'm more than halfway through this book already. I'm page 174 and I'm about 55% through, I believe. Oh no, I'm 58%. I'm just looking at my Kindle, because I've been reading on my Kindle, because I didn't realise this book is on Kindle Unlimited, you know, if you didn't know. And this book basically follows like 4 women, I would say. So we have Cleo, Frankie, Edith, and Patience. And basically, obviously, the premise of this is a baby is kidnapped 20 years prior, and then 20 years later a woman is murdered. And at first, like, it doesn't even really delve to that point. It just talks about these 4 different women, the stuff they're going through, and like the connections towards each other. So example, Cleo is Edith's daughter. Edith is living in a old people's home. Patience is a maid that's working at the old people's home that's become friends with Edith. Frankie is this woman that works in a prison and that's been murdered, is the manager of the old people's home. And that's basically it. Like, at the beginning I was really confused, I can't lie. I knew there was like different characters, and obviously going into it I knew there was gonna be multiple characters, but I didn't know like how they made link, and it links so simultaneously. And like, this book is both addicting and confusing. Like, I'll tell you guys this, I do not know what is happening. I feel like I'm constantly learning new things, and that when I think I know something, I'm like totally wrong. One thing that I did get is I think that one of the characters may be related to the other character, but I don't want to spoil it. I think this book is really, really addicting. Like, literally, as I said, I only really started reading it properly today, and I'm already halfway through the book. I actually just want to carry on reading it. I was out a bit earlier, I read on the journey there, I read this morning, I read on the way back, and now I just want to sit and like read it. I've got a few hours until I'm going out to meet my friends, and I really want to know what's going to happen. Like, this book is just so weird and twisty, and like, I kind of have like my suspicions and things that I think might be the case, but still there's the undying effect about how like everyone connects. That is my update for now. I'm gonna carry on reading. My hope is to get maybe about 80% through before I go out to eat dinner with my friends, and then when I come back I want to sit, read it, and just like have a cozy autumn evening. So we're gonna now get to it. We're gonna carry on reading Good Bad Girl, and I will speak to you guys in a bit. That was actually really good. That was so good. Guys, I have just finished Good Bad Girl, and what the hell? Let me get the book. What the hell has happened in this book? It is literally an hour later and I finished the book. This book was so freaking twisty. Like, I will say, as I was saying before, like, it was all a bit confusing at times, but like the way it wraps up. Can you see my face right now? Like, can you see my face? And wow. I don't even know what to really say right now. As I was saying before, this is a story about a bunch of women that have so many secrets. It delves so much into the idea of motherhood and the struggles of like post natal depression, relationships between mothers and daughters, and then also like the murder aspect. And this book, I was actually on the edge of my seat the whole time, and even though at the beginning I was a bit confused and it took a bit of a while, once you get into the story you become so immersed in it that you don't want to put it back down. We're finding out more and more things, and let's just say I was right on a few things, but one of the revelations that we find out shocked me even more. Like, and I think that this book would be so good to like reread now. I've reread, like read it the first time. And I think this book would be so good for like a reread, just because like the first time round with reading it, you're kind of a bit confused, you're kind of trying to know the characters and stuff like that. Once you know the plot and more little clues get thrown to you, you start to kind of connect the dots. I feel like the fact that there's multiple POVs makes it even more engaging. However, at times can make it also confusing, because you're like, who's who, who's doing what. You have to remember all of that stuff. Then you need to remember what secret this person might have, what this person might be connected to this person, and so on. And then also focusing on the issue at hand, the fact that someone's been murdered, and then the past about how a baby got kidnapped, and the way every little detail interwoves and like comes together. This book was so good. This is the first book I've ever read by Alice Feeney, and I just love like the fact that it's also set in London and like Covent Garden and stuff like that. I think this book really gives like spooky vibes, a bit like None of This Is True by Lisa Joelle. It's kind of giving that vibe. In terms of rating, I think I'm going to be giving this book a 4.5. It was so close to a 5 stars. I think the only reason why it's not 5 stars is the fact that thinking throughout my experience of reading this book, at times, most of the time, I was confused, but obviously once you learn more details, you get a bit more into the story, you kind of understand what's going on. I think as well, like writing notes down really helped me. I wrote down all the different characters after I had gotten to know them, who may be connected to who and how, and I think that also helped it me read it. But I think this book is definitely a book to reread as well. So yeah, that is my rating in terms of Good Bad Girl. Now I think we're gonna start a fantasy, because obviously I read a romance earlier on, obviously we've read a mystery thriller, and I've been really excited to read a fantasy. I think on my shelves I have Nightbane and the Assassin's Warrior Princess or something like that. Those are the 2 books that I had on my September TBR in terms of fantasy. So I think we're going to pick one. I'm slowly leaning towards a Nightmare just because I've read Lightlark, which is the first book in the series. However, that Assassin Warrior Princess one has been on my mind since. I think when I come back later from meeting my friend, that is going to be the book. You guys will see eventually which one I decide to pick, but I'm excited to get like cozy this evening. So I'll speak to you guys later on. Morning guys, it is Sunday and I'm here to give you guys an update on Warrior Assassin Princess. Warrior Princess Assassin, I don't even know at this point. I think the title is very funny because this book is literally about a warrior assassin and a princess. So like the title's not very original. However, I'm really enjoying this plot. I will be using nicknames to talk about the characters rather than actual names, just because half the characters I just don't know their full names. But this book features Jory, and she is basically a princess of obviously her kingdom. And obviously there's like 3 main kingdoms. I would say it's her kingdom, there's another kingdom, and then there's another kingdom, and they're all obviously enemies to each other, but her kingdom is going to form an alliance with another kingdom. I don't know the specific names in terms of pronouncing them, which is why I'm going to avoid them. But the king of that obviously kingdom is who she has to marry in order to form an alliance against, obviously to protect each other against the 3rd kingdom, which is like the most dangerous criminal one. And obviously she does not know this guy. She is like a very sheltered princess, that's all she's ever known. And then she has her best friend Asha. Asha is also an assassin who had been exiled when they were younger, and yeah, he comes back to obviously visit her. They've got a lot of chemistry between the two. Obviously they're childhood best friends. And obviously insert our other character, who is the warrior, which is Kai, and he is obviously the king of his kingdom. He also has this like firepower where he can like manifest fire into his hands depending on like the closest flame, and he is obviously the ruler of his kingdom, but he needs to form this alliance in order to protect his people but also protect himself. So that is kind of the plot of this story. But yeah, this is basically following where the assassin, her best friend, gets a letter, like a quest to basically kill 2 people, and the 2 people are obviously his best friend, the princess, and then also the warrior. And we've just gotten to the bit where something's just happened and he has basically kidnapped the both of them. So I feel like this is going to be such a fun plot. I know this is like a why choose romance. I don't know if the guys get together or is it just the fact that both of these guys and like one girl, but I just love being back in the fantasy world. I haven't actually read a fantasy book since May. I was thinking back, and it was actually Watch Me was the last fantasy book that I had read, so I'm really looking forward to like being back into this world. I just love it so much, and being back is just everything and more. So I'm really enjoying this book so far. I'm on chapter 10, nearly 100 pages. I'm on page 99, and the cover, it's just, she's just stunning. She's so beautiful. And my plans today is literally to do nothing and sit and read, and I'm gonna get my hike done, to do my food shop, and then when I come back I actually need to like wash my hair and stuff like that. So I think we're just gonna sit, read, enjoy the book, and so far I'm really enjoying it and being back in the fantasy world. So that's my update for now, guys. Let's go do some hiking because I need to do some type of form of exercise. I haven't done any this week, and I feel like it really gets you into the autumn mood as well, is like being around in nature and reading at the same time. Chef's kiss. Is like late evening now, and I have gone so much through this book. It is not even funny. This is how much I've read since I last spoke to you guys. I have this much left. Currently on page 284, chapter 26. What can I really say about this book, to be fair? Like, it is the tension. If you want tension and chemistry and slow burn, this book is for you. This is very much giving romantasy. Don't go into it thinking it's going to be a very high stakes fantasy. I feel like it has obviously the fantasy plot, the fantasy world, with like magic and stuff like that, but it is definitely focused, I personally think, more on the romance, and the fantasy feels like a subplot. Me personally, I like it, but I do wish there was a little bit more emphasis on the fantasy like plot line. We are kind of going nowhere in terms of finding out who's trying to kill them, and I will say that I'm not actually minding that because I really like the characters and the chemistry between them. There's just been like a little scene between the three of them, and let's just say it's starting to heat up, and I'm really enjoying this book. I kind of have like a few thoughts and feelings about who I think might possibly be trying to kill them. I'm not sure yet. It's not really pushing for clues. I don't feel like this book is giving many clues, and yeah, I'm just waiting for the slow burn to no longer be slow burn, if you get what I mean. I can definitely feel something brewing, something bubbling up, and I just want to learn more. Like, I think I need a little bit more high stakes in this book. I just don't think it's a lot of high stakes moments, but I think, as I said before, I think if this is the first book in a series, I'm not sure if this is part of a series or this is the first book in a series so far, I think we're going to learn more from the characters, but I'm really loving the plot, really, and I'm really loving the characters. So all of that together, all of that meshed into one, I'm really enjoying this book. So that's my update for now. I'm going to stop rambling because I can feel myself trying to ramble for ages. I'll carry on with my reading. I will speak to you guys all tomorrow, probably once I've finished the book. But yeah, happy reading, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. I will see you guys then. Night for now. 그대 미소에 난 취한 것 같아. 자꾸만 웃음이 나. 어린아이 장난 같아. 다정한 밤 공기가 적당한 bar. 바랬던 나를 date. 다른 음악이 돼. 그대와 나는 한 잔에 콜라다보다 달달한 그 말 사랑해 이 세상 누구보다 더 마음의 이끌림을 따라 내게 I think we're going to need to cut the cameras on this, but I have finally finished Warrior Princess Assassin, and this book was really good, guys. I literally only started it this weekend and today is Monday, but I finally finished it and I'm here to give you guys an update. Before we get into rating, I think we're going to talk a little bit about the book. So obviously I've spoken about it in any other update that I've done, but I really liked the plot. But obviously they're from two separate towns and villages. Like she's from Estranza, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and he's from Incenda, and they have obviously two different kingdoms and they're trying to come together, and it's just like a little love triangle, and they've all got also their own separate things, especially like Asher. He's obviously an assassin, he's had quite a hard life, some things that Jory doesn't even know, and then we also have the king that's also experiencing trauma. I would say, as well as I loved the romance, I think it was a lot stronger between the two male characters. Like, I don't know, I've said that before, but I think it was just a lot stronger compared to the female. But then when they're all together, the tension was brewing. But I think in terms of the chemistry between the characters, I think I prefer the two main males rather than the girl and then the two males. But as a trio, I really liked it, and for my first ever like Why True's obviously fantasy or romantic, I'm not going to call it fantasy, I'm going to call it romantic, because I would definitely say it is, for me it feels like a romance in a fantasy world, but it does have the fantasy elements. Obviously there's the typical plot, there's the world, there's the magic, and I was a bit disappointed because I would wanted to like learn a little bit more, especially in terms of Jory and her powers and stuff like that. But then also as well, I felt like the ending was a bit anticlimactic, but I think the main plot of this was kind of like the world building and setting up the plot. I think this will be like another book in a series. I haven't checked it out yet, but yeah, apart from that, I really did enjoy it. I ended up giving it a 4.5 in terms of rating. But that was the last book in today's video. I really enjoyed reading these three books. But in terms of all the books, that is going to be it for today's video. I really had a great time like reading these books. This has definitely got me into the autumn mood. Today when I'm filming it is actually September the 22nd, which is the first day of autumn, and I'm so freaking excited for this new season. I've got my jumper on. I can definitely feel there's a chill in the air, and we actually have had quite nice weather, I feel like, still in the UK as well. It's just been a lot chillier, but I love that. It reminds me a lot of spring, where we have the mixture of cold and warm weather, rain and dry. So yeah, I really am excited to continue reading, especially fantasy. I'm literally in the mood now to carry on being in the fantasy world. I think I might start one of the other books on my shelf as well. But yeah, this is just going to be the first of many autumn cozy vlogs. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like and a subscribe and a comment, because you know I love seeing you guys' comments. I love you guys so much. Stay blessed, and as I always say, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye my lovelies.